Okay guys, I did it, 3 miles. And you know what? My legs were not as exhausted as I thought they would be. Fabulous. How cool is that? I don't know, I was kind of thinking maybe because I know last week after I did 10 miles, I ran outside and my legs did feel very exhausted. This week I ran inside on the treadmill, not so exhausted. Is that really because the treadmill actually like pushes you along and helps you keep your momentum? Possibly, although I know I have been on the treadmill and been very exhausted and I can still feel it in my legs, and I didn't feel that as much today. Definitely not as much as I expected, so that was awesome. It was a great 3-mile run. I am glad that I decided to reduce to 3 miles, which is actually the same amount of mileage I would have had this week anyway, because on Thursday, if you remember, I was supposed to do 3 miles and I bumped it up to 4. So still at the same mileage for the week. I did my first mile at 6.8 miles an hour. I did my second mile at 6.9 miles an hour, and I did my third, I wish it was 7, did my third mile at 7.0 miles an hour. Yes. And on that last third mile, the last 2/10 of the mile, I bumped it up to 6.9 miles an hour and then 7.0 miles an hour. The reason for that is, I don't know if you guys have heard of something called a kick. A kick is something that you do in the last leg of a race. So for example, if you're running a 5K and that is 3.1 miles, the last maybe 4/10 or 5/10 of a mile, so maybe I try to start like the last half of a mile, just start inching up the speed. So it's good to practice that in your regular workouts, not all the time, but when you feel like you have the energy to really bump it up and kind of kick at the end. Bump up your speed as much as you can. Maybe the last 1/10 or 2/10 of a mile sprint if you can. Practicing that if you're actually going to do a race, it does help at the end of a race, because then you know you can do that. Typically I will try to do that at half a mile left. Doesn't usually happen because by then I'm usually pretty exhausted. When I do see the finish line though, or I know that it's like right around the corner, when I see the finish line, I'm typically probably 2/10 of a mile away, maybe 3/10 of a mile away. So whenever I see the finish line, I definitely try to speed it up then. I can't say I've ever been able to sprint at the end of a race because I just use too much energy during the race. I'm one of those kind of people. I would love to be able to sprint at the end of this triathlon 4 miles. That would be so cool. So maybe I'll make that as part of my goal, which essentially just means, I already have a goal of increasing my speed, so that's my #1 top priority. I want to increase my speed overall, but that would be a really good goal to just start maybe fine-tuning or working on that kick at the end. Doesn't have to be a lot. I'm thinking like 3/10 of a mile. Maybe speed it up at 3/10 and then really sprint at 2/10. Yeah. Sounds like something I might work on. So anyway, that's why I speeded up a little at the end, and I haven't done that for a while. So I feel like I'm getting my strength and my speed back, so that's good. And I know that regular runs are definitely important and definitely a part of that. I feel like I may have overkilled a little bit this week because I don't think 5 runs is necessarily overkill. The 10 miles was a lot, especially considering that I'm not even doing a long race, but I want to just keep myself conditioned with a long run. So for some people, I guess it might be overkill. For me, I can be such a black and white person that I just want to do the best I can. So my typical pattern is that I will overkill and do everything like to the max, and then I get burned out. So I have 4 months to go until this triathlon. I do not want to get burned out, so I need to watch that over the coming weeks, and if I feel like I'm overdoing it, then I need to tell myself that it's okay to pull back a little bit. So I might do that, but I will I need to tell you guys the schedule for next week, and I'm not sure if I should do that before Monday's video because I'm not going to be working out tomorrow. So what I'll do is maybe do just a very brief video tomorrow of what my schedule looks like for the next week. It's going to be very similar. My speeds are also going to be similar because I felt pretty good and pretty strong this week on the speeds, but I don't know, I might bump it up a little bit, but I'll have to think about it. For the most part though, my workout will be really similar to this week. The only thing that's going to change is maybe the days, because I know I have an event Wednesday evening, so I can't run after work Wednesday evening, so I'll just adjust the days a little bit. So, but I will hopefully do a video for you guys tomorrow, a very short video just going over the schedule for next week. If you're planning your workout already for this week, know that mine will be, if you're following my workout, mine's gonna be pretty similar to last week. So if you guys have any question as you're preparing your schedule for next week, feel free to shoot me a line and I will reply. I am gonna rest the rest of the weekend. I'm just really surprised I had as much energy in my legs as I did today, considering how exhausted I was last night. I was exhausted, like I can't move exhausted. I fed my belly and then I couldn't move. So that's always good. Anyway, I hope you guys have had a successful week. I'm going to post this video as soon as possible, get to all of your comments today, and let's make it another great one next week. We did 5 workout days this week, and I don't know about you guys, but all 5 of my workouts were a success. So I'm gonna keep at this, keep doing it, and hopefully my body only progresses forward. I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Have a great weekend.